Section 1, Video 3. Now we'll focus on zero product rule and negative power rule. Zero product rule states simply that anything to the zero power is equal to 1. For example, I can have something as complex as 27 g to the 7th, h to the 10th, a to the 4th, all being raised to the zero power. Answer is 1. So a nice little rule to know and have in your back pocket, comes in handy quite often. Negative power rule is a little bit more tricky. It states that if you have a negative exponent, it's equivalent to having that same term in the opposite position of a fraction, and the exponent becomes positive. Now, this one has some caveats where you want to be very careful with, so you're applying it properly. Okay, so in other words, a fraction has two positions, a numerator and a denominator. If I've been given the term x to the negative fifth, it's assumed to be in the numerator. To make this appropriate, which means no negative exponents, you would have to move what has the negative exponent to the opposite position. In this case, it would be the denominator, and you would end up with x to the positive fifth down below. With that said, if I gave you 1 over a to the negative 2, where the negative exponent is below or in the denominator, to make it positive, I would move that to the opposite position of the fraction, which again in this case now is the numerator. Another important part to remember is it only affects the term where the negative exponent is affecting, or let's put it this way. If I have 2y to the negative 4, the negative 4 is only affecting the y. If I put parentheses around the 2y, then the negative 4 affects all of it. But right now, only this is the problem. And it's over 1, so to fix it, the y gets moved below with its power, and now we have a positive exponent. The 2 was not affected. However, if I had 2y to the negative 4 and 2y was in parentheses, in this case now everything would have to go below. The way I like to think of it is that something is a power is negative, and the exponents are asking you, can I stay in my position? And if it's negative, you would say, no, you may not stay. You are negative. You must become positive. So you have to move it. It is not allowed to stay. One little way to look at it. So again, in finishing, if we go back to a question that was brought up earlier with the same idea, and it was quotient of powers rule, and that rule stated, again, if I had x to the second over x to the fourth, I can do this problem by taking 2 minus 4, and I get x to the negative 2. So it's over 1. And if I have to write the answer with positive exponents, I would have to move that below, and I would get 1 over x squared. So bringing that back into the picture, because I mentioned that we would cover that earlier. This ends Section 1, Video 3.